Joining us now is birthday girl, Okpe, with stories trending around the world. Hello, Ojinika.
Good morning,
It's your
Dr.
birthday.
It's my day.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Ojinika, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday to
Thank you. You're smiling too much.
Happy returns. Ọlọ́jọ́ ìbí, ijó kan ẹ o, ṣe wéré kó dá wa lóhùn.
You're not going to make me cry.
Ẹni rere lẹ̀wẹ̀ jẹ́ o, ẹni rere lẹ̀wẹ̀ jẹ́ o, ẹni rere lẹ̀wẹ̀ jẹ́ o. And so say all of us, for she's a jolly good fellow, for she's a jolly good fellow, for she's a jolly good fellow. And so say all of us, Ojinika charge.
You have to bring your Ijebu dialect into this matter.
Ẹni rere lẹ̀wẹ̀ jẹ́ o.
Tundu, please save me from this guy. Oh, thank you.
Birthday,
Thank you.
Such a beautiful human being.
Oh,
I'm not just physical.
I've been fasting since yesterday. I hope you are prepared.
I am, 100%.
She's ready. She's ready for you.
All right, well, good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United Kingdom, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are celebrating Prince Louis, their third and youngest child, as he turns 3 today. The royals released a never-before-seen photo of the prince, who is 5th in line to the throne. Justice! In the United States, protesters gathered in North Carolina, calling on the police to release body cam footage of the shooting of Andrew Brown Jr., who was killed on April 21st in his car as he was served with a search warrant. And a Texas school teacher is suspended after taking a photo with her foot on the neck of a 10-year-old black pupil. On the same day, Derek Chauvin was convicted. In China, a 90-year-old woman who lost 23 million pounds to fraudsters posing as Chinese officials in what is being dubbed as the biggest phone scam ever has made the rounds. In Nigeria, the Ogun State government launched an endowment fund worth an initial 5 million naira for Ms. Faith Odunsi, who topped the global open mathematics competition early this year. Under sports, the International Table Tennis Federation has ranked Nigeria's 11-year-old Musa Mustafa as the world's best player in the boys under 11 cadet category. And Nigerian striker Kelechi Iheanacho continued his amazing run of form for Leicester City after scoring a goal in their 3-0 win over West Bromwich Albion, making it his 11th goal in 8 matches. Finally, under entertainment, preparations for the 93rd Academy Awards taking place on Sunday, April 25th is underway. The ceremony will showcase historical moments, including a record-breaking 76 nominations for women, while actress Viola Davis becomes the most nominated black actress in the Academy's history, and Chadwick Boseman becomes the 7th actor and first black actor to receive a posthumous nomination for his role in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Tundu, my fingers are crossed for Chadwick Boseman, you know that.
Same here.
I mean, but this year's Oscars is so historic. There are so many things that are happening. You know, for the first time, 6 people of Asian descent were selected. It is so groundbreaking. I am so excited. I love the fact that 76 women were nominated as well. And there are 2 directors. 2 female directors for the first time in the Oscars history. I can't wait for Sunday.
It's really amazing because they are responsive. This is the beauty and the power of taking correction.
Yes.
Oscars So White was a huge scandal. They didn't dig their heels in and be stubborn about it. They listened. They responded to the clamor to have more representation of women of other ethnic, minorities. And Viola Davis, the black Meryl Streep, she is brilliant. I remember the first time I ever saw her in the movie Antoine Fisher. I have to be boring about it. But in the scene, she was only there for 5 minutes and she stole the whole movie. Her son came and confronted her for abandoning him and her face was like a stone. As soon as he walked out, a single tear dropped from her eye. And I thought, who is that? You know when you wait to the end of the credits, what is that woman's name?
The art of tearing. She is, I mean, all of her movies when she cries. She is so deliberate. Yeah. She really is. And what you've just said, that the Oscars listen, it relates to my first story. So we'll begin what's trending in Nigeria with the hashtag Pantami must go, which Nigerians are using to call for the immediate resignation of the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Isa Pantami, on Twitter. The minister has come under fire over statements and video recordings that connects him with terrorist groups such as Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. There are also allegations of his intolerance for non-Muslims. Amid calls for his resignation, the senior special assistant to the president of media and publicity, Garba Shehu, via Twitter, declared support for the minister, which has caused outrage on social media. Let's take some tweets. First one is from Fisaya Soyombo, who wrote, "The presidency was gifted a landmark opportunity to proclaim its aversion to terror. Instead, it released a statement standing by Pantami. This is tacit endorsement of terrorism. The government is emboldening people to go ahead and spew hate and return years later to get a pat on the back." Well, former Minister Obiezekwe Sili wrote, "The Nigerian government and President Muhammadu Buhari may not realize that the world is following the ugly developments on our country's Minister of Communication and how his government is handling or, in fact, ignoring to handle it. Nigeria must avoid the list of states that sponsor terrorism." Dr. Abati, over to you.
We took on this subject earlier this morning, and we are all very disturbed that the Nigerian government would issue the kind of statement that it has issue a vote of confidence. And I was saying that the best that government could have done out of respect for public opinion in the matter and out of respect for the concern that has been expressed about the implications of having a man who in his 20s, they claim, but actually in his 40s, expressed sympathy for terrorists and separatists and violent form of extremism, would have been perhaps, to just shift him aside and perhaps appoint him, my recommendation, as the imam of the mosque at the presidential villa, where he can be, the fiery preacher that he has been, and he will not be in a position to be in charge of, the data of every Nigerian and where he can possibly do harm. We're told that he has repented. Well, who determines that? What's the level of sincerity? Because, as Tundun pointed out earlier, we're dealing here with ideology. We're not dealing with passion. And even if you are dealing with both, what is the guarantee that tomorrow Isa Pantami, having recanted, cannot go back? Because we have seen so many cases in that regard. So I don't think that so far government has handled it well. And I do not think that he himself has handled it well. He has recruited a group of nitwits, to be defending him on Twitter and be abusing people. I don't think that that is the way to go. What is established is that he has been effectively damaged. Now, many Nigerians have also questioning the position of the government, saying, okay, if you are forgiving him and you are saying it doesn't matter, okay, how about other people? Alhaji Buba Galadima just drew attention to a number of examples of persons who have said they have repented and they have apologized. But the most graphic example will probably be Kemi Adeosun, who was Minister of Finance once upon a time in this country under this administration. She was accused of having forged NYSC certificate. Now, at that time, if government were to say it is consistent, maybe perhaps the government at that time could also have come forward and said, well, Kemi Adeosun as Minister of Finance has apologized. She said she didn't know about it. It was persons who tried to get the certificate for her who made the mistake. But the government did not do so at the time. Kemi Adeosun was turned adrift. So those Nigerians who are now saying, okay, Isa Pantami, is he being protected because he's a Muslim? Is he being protected because he comes from a privileged part of the country? Although Alhaji Buba Galadima, whom we spoke with this morning, I said, no, there's no linkage with the Islamic religion. We should just take it on its own merit. But whatever it is, I think that government needs, going forward, the point you started with, to listen to public opinion. It's not about ego. It's not about power. This is a minister who occupies a very strategic position. And that praise song in the statement by the presidency, well, there are many Nigerians who will not agree with that praise song because it looks like government is buying into the narrative that this is a man that is being victimized. So government, in this matter, can be accused of being partisan rather than looking at the facts. They have said they will investigate whether some people approach journalists or not and then take actions on that. Where They should have done that investigation first before taking a categorical position.
Correct. Rufai, this is such a sensitive issue. I mean, shouldn't the government be listening to public opinion at this very sensitive time of our economy?
The fact that we're even talking about this on national TV, that the person involved have not even just taken the moral ground to resign, is the fact that shows how low our country has become over the years. And you see, this is a ticking time bomb for our country. It's a ticking time bomb that people will do something in the past that has come back to haunt them. We can't all speak truth to power, and we pander around. You know, Wole Soyinka put it very aptly. He said, the day we see injustice and we don't speak up, the day we see a misnomer, we don't speak up, the man in us that day died. So for the fact that a lot of people have turned this around, it's now a case of, oh, this is what Mr. Pantami did when he was in the ministry and all of that, or what he has been doing as regards name registration, shows how low we have become morally as a country. And every Nigerian watching me out there should check their moral fiber. Right. Because it's so easy to talk about insurgency. I'll give you an instance. What happened in other parts of the world? When this same thing happened to Dominic Cummings, they did a poll, YouGov did a poll, that said 71% of British people saw that Dominic Cummings broke COVID-19 protocols.
Rufai,
and guess what happened? He knew he was on his way out.
Right. I'm sorry to have to interrupt you, but we'll have to go on a short break. And Tundu, I'll come back and take your comment as well on this story. Welcome back to the morning show. We're still on What's Trending. Rufai, I wanted you to land on your comment before I take Tundu's comment real quick.
I think you just go ahead and take Tundu's comments, OJ,
okay.
So we can move because of time, yeah.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Tundu.
Well, I hate to say, I'm proud to say that my mind went to the same place that Dr. Ezekwesilis did.
Yes.
But I hate to say it because to even consider my country as a possible candidate for state-sponsored terrorism is really sad.
Yes.
I went and Googled it. What is the definition? Because I wanted to make sure that we have not fallen foul. And the definition is really quite broad. Just when the government supports violent non-state actors. And can this not be termed as support for violent non-state actors? And your other tweet that you read from Fisayo Stroyombo said it's a tacit endorsement. What it is. It is. It's actually really frightening that this is happening in Nigeria. Like I said when the story broke, if this happened in the Netherlands, in any other country, it would be bad, but not egregious. In Nigeria, it is egregious. We are one of the top 3 most terrorized countries in the world. We should not have somebody sitting in the cabinet of the Federal Republic of Nigeria with these sympathies. How hard are you fighting a so-called enemy when you sympathize with that enemy? It's really bad, and especially when we're just told that, he outgrew this thinking. Well, that puts lie to all the de-radicalization programs all over the world and all the massive funding that goes into that, because people simply do not outgrow these kind of thoughts. You just don't. It's extremely hateful.
I think he should just do the humble thing and resign. We'll take another story. In a bizarre move, the House of Representatives has resolved to probe a false report on a confiscated shipment of male organs that was alleged to have sailed from Nigeria to China. The House members during Thursday's plenary session deliberated on the motion of the purported shipment of 7,200 refrigerated male organs and sought the intervention of relevant government agencies in probing the reported illicit trade. The story, which was first published by a satirical website, which has articles that are entirely fictional, on March 19th, has since been debunked. Rufai, your take on this story. I can't believe that at this time, this is what people are caring about.
Isn't it funny that nobody in the National Assembly could have just fact-checked it?
I was just laughing throughout when I read the story.
Is this what the representative of the people do? They saw a very sensational story. Nobody could fact-check it now. They start to debate human parts. Male private part, 2,000 of them on a ship to China. Boom.
7,200, they said.
And that's all they discuss without fact-checking?
Yeah.
Where there's an issue of national importance, like Pantami's issue on ground.
Correct.
But guess what? When they raised it in the House, the Speaker said, no, it's not on that privilege. So how do they use their National Assembly jargon? It's not on that privilege. We are just meandering around in this country, and we just pray it doesn't catch up with us. There are national issues on ground that we should discuss. We will not discuss them like Pantami issue, but it's a very, even when you hear the story.
I mean, it's just so bizarre.
It's ridiculous.
Is it possible?
So
Like, what were they thinking?
It's obvious that they are jobless.
Right.
These people need jobs.
Right. Dr. Abati.
Well, what we're dealing with here is a case of legislative incompetence, because it's very shocking that, two legislators, one from Taraba State, a guy called Kwamum, and one Olatunbosun Olajide from Oyo State. Is that? No. Okay, there's nobody from Oyo State here.
There is.
We'll go on the floor.
There is two from
We'll
one from
go
Oyo
on the floor
State,
of the Green Chamber, and they have nothing to talk about but a fake story. Now, the House of Representatives is becoming an arena for the promotion of a fake story. We took from a site called WNDR, World News Development Report, which says clearly that it's a satirical website and also has a very clear disclaimer to say that, look, we don't respect facts on this platform. The basic thing about journalism is about facts, it's about accuracy. And they took it to the floor of the House of Representatives, and they presented the motion, and the motion was adopted. Which means that, we have lawmakers who are very ignorant, who are uninformed, who could not even consult the oracle. The oracle of the age is Google. Right there on the floor of the House of Representatives, you could have checked. And they wasted Nigerian time and resources. But I think what we're dealing with, you are talking about male sexual, you are talking about the phallus, the penis. They were talking 7,200
I said male
refrigerated penises that arrived at the Shanghai port. The site says on its way to the red market. What we're dealing with is a phallus-obsessed, toxic masculinity issue, and that the House of Representatives of Nigeria considers that a matter of urgent national importance. I think it's shameful, it's embarrassing. Other more serious legislatures elsewhere will be wondering what is wrong with them in Nigeria.
All right, we shall take our final story. An old video of the first Nigerian anthem being recited on October 1st, 1960, by the MRA Studio Orchestra under the direction of the Brazilian composer Remo Usai has resurfaced online. Nigerians reacting to the video on social media said it brings back great memories of the country when it gained independence. Let's take a listen.
To the Nigerian national anthem, Mr. Albert Congo raises the flag of the new nation.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign fatherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hang on to our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build our nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
Well, Ojineka, I hope you... It's your birthday! Happy birthday, Okpe! Congratulations. We're very proud of you. God bless you.
Love you, girl. You're amazing.
I love you all. Thank you so much.
Ojineka! Congratulations.
Sweetest, I can't believe you guys pulled this off without me knowing. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rufai. Thank you to the whole Arise team. Whoever planned this, I am so grateful. Look how beautiful.
Jineka! Okay, we're going to party all night today. Okay. Okay. Congratulations.